Hello, everybody. It is Badge and Wild, and we are back. I think. Have to get my phone to work here, and we'll see what we can do. There we are. There we go. So we are back with our missile destroyer again. See, we got some nifty stuff here in the side. And this is Grexion coming over and helping me with the door thing. He actually figured out how to get it to work effectively the way I wanted it to work. So thanks, Grexion, for all the wonderful help there with that. Now I just gotta take this and replicate it inside the ship. But first off, I gotta do some modifications because every time I look at the hangar, I start saying, it looks good, but I think I could do better. I think. One, we've got a few problems in here. I need another. I'm going to probably put these in instead of the other doors, and I'm going to add one more cargo container here. So without further ado, let's get started. So right now I need another one of these. I need to get back on the same page I was on before. Well, I'll knock both of those out and then go into, let's see, the cargo terminal. Put that in there and have some fun with that. But yeah, fun stuff happening nowadays. Trying to get this done, then having all kinds of issues trying to get that stupid door to work, and it just didn't work. I was like, I was about to just pull my hair out with it, and then Grexion's like, "Yeah, you can do it with like two of these things." So everybody, put a thing in the chat for him. Actually, I just realized I gotta use this refill station at some point. Ooh, I forgot I had a refill station here. There's something we need to add to this thing. We have the big refill station too. Instead of that, let's do a refill station on each end. So there's one on either end of the deal. You just run over, just refill your stuff. That's cool. That's a great idea. Now going back here, we're gonna find this. Gotta find this one thing. Where is it? There it is. We're gonna add this new doors on here. We just gotta find the right panel. Slap that bad boy in. Okay, yeah, just like that. Nope, not like that. Not like that. Not like that either. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this. And we're gonna put all that in, and that's gonna be done. There we go. Now the hanger's looking a little bit better, but like I said, a lot of this is really off. What I want to do is we're going to completely redo this one section here. And I'm going to rip most of this out. Yeah, we're going to rip a lot of this out because I'm not sure how this is going to work right now. But yeah. Let's see. Where is the block I need? Number 5. Okay. Now the kicker is see, now that'll give me a little bit of something. I'll have to do something with that section there. when I get done. But yeah, running around, getting things done. Nephew is in. He's been fun. If that kid could, he would play video games all day long. I'm not joking. What do you bet? Oh no, I'm seeing an issue here. Why are you giving me an issue now? Let's do this instead. That might work. That could work. Hold on. Let's try to go even better with this. There is a way to do this that it will look amazing. There we go. There we go. Look at that. We got that going. So that's what we're going to have to do there. Let's go ahead and make that work. How did I do that again? Oh yeah, that looks amazing up top. I don't know if that would be a good idea to do the entire ship in. I think I'm going to pull that out. And we're going to go up to here. And let's just install those interior blocks there on either side. And then what I can do here is I can knock these two out and just kind of take this wall there. And we can actually have this wall, or have this actually kind of match the interior of the room a little bit more. So we got a little bit better flow. A little bit better flow. That's what we're going to go with here. So there we go. That's a major improvement right there on the entire system. Let's see. Let me see this wall here. Well, let's make this as thick as possible. There, we'll do that. Set that right there just to replace those beam blocks because they're nice, but we can do better. It's good, but it can be better. So we got that working there. I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to replace all of this with the one block we had before. That will help with that nonsense. On top of that, I can actually pull this forward a bit more, or at least this way. Have all that hooked up. And then we can add the lights in here. Let's see, where are the... All right, there's floodlights 1. Now, how bad are these going to be turned? Okay, I kind of think we need the turned floodlights. Let's throw those in. And there we go. And there we go. Check out that nice, massively impressive room we have here with all the lights and everything working like they're supposed to. We will have them working like they're supposed to here in a minute. So I mean, before anyone freaks out, that's going to be a thing. Then I'll have to do some. We'll have to do some stuff to this thing so it looks right. I do want to go back to the one deal here. I want to pull this block out because I want to add some panels here. So this room feels more of a like an area. And let's go ahead and grab some signage. Because why not? AI powered. I'll put that somewhere else. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Danger airlock mechanism. Really, that should be right in the middle. Warning everybody. And then number 4, we'll put that access panel there. And there we go. So yeah, this is turning into quite the hangar bay. And we've got a little bit of space here for each unit we're going to be bringing in. So now I'm going to need 2. Yeah, I've got my mic on. I was sitting there for like a split second. I go, do I have my mic on? Yes, I do. I have my mic on. So it's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're all good. So, oh, that is cool. So that just up and recharges you. I need to install some of those inside of a ship. Actually, is there a small block version of this? Yeah, there is. Yes, there is. Holy crap, there's a small block variant of this. Huh. We're going to have to use this with a small ship. Okay, so we've gotten this finished. I'm guessing the next thing I need to do is figure out a small welding craft eventually. You can see here we got all kinds of. Wait a minute. Why do I not have a block here? Okay, let's go back and get that block. And then we got to hook up the one deal tonight. There we go. So now to set this whole thing up, let's rework this entire area here. I'm gonna pull that out. Go ahead and rework that. Now, I don't know. It might be a good idea. Let's yank that chair and this console while we're at it. And let's find, where is it at? Number 1, which will be this thing. We don't need timer blocks. What we need is an event controller. So we've got 2 event controllers here. That'll work out. You jump down from the main bay and you drop into these 2 event controllers. Now I can work those in. Now the next thing, where's our console blocks? 'Cause that'll be fun. There we go. We have that working and that working, so that looks like 2 individual stations. And we're also going to grab a button panel because I decided a button panel would be the best way to do this. One of these here. It's this one. Has a series of stuff on it. You can just simply walk up and touch that and it'll do whatever you want it to do. And then this right here, I don't know what I will do here. But this way we can have two buttons that turns everything on and all that nonsense. That way I got to worry about too much crap. Now, to somehow set this thing, let's see, because Grexion came up with the idea to fix this, and I have looked at it several times, and I still don't quite know what he did. But there is something that he found here that I just stupidly could not remember. Every one of these things has several toolbars. Now then, let's see. Toggle grid off. Toggle block on. And toggle block off. Okay. So I need to get back over here and I need to turn those floodlights back on. Or take them floodlights, mess with them. Huh. Wow. Getting tired. All right, let me see here. Okay, there we go. That's its own little group. One thing that Grexion did show me was a new patrol craft he's working on that I have just been looking at, thinking, hey, you know what? That'd be kind of nifty to take a look at. Okay, let's see here. Select actions, groups, hangar door, toggle block off, I believe. Roll 2. Toggle block on. Toggle that block off, and what we're going to do next is I'm going to head up here to hangar warning lights. I'm going to turn those off so everything works like it's supposed to. Now I need to figure out what Grexion did there to make that work. Ow. Let's see. All right, doors open. So that's what we got to do. We got to set that to doors open, and the next one should be set to doors closed. And there's a certain way that he did this that should cause it all to work perfectly. All right, door opened. Now, let me see if I said all this correctly. That is off. On and off. Okay. So now the next one here. Okay, is closed. Got to toggle that one on and toggle that one off. All right. All right, let's see how this works. If I'm copying this correctly, it should do fine. Now, select actions. What was it? Was it closed, I think? I believe this was... toggle block off, I think. Let's see how that works. All right, that is off. That's on. That's closed. And the event is block is switched on and off. Let me check here. On, off for the second one. I think that's on and off. Let's see what he did here. I got it backwards. So we need to those blocks in backwards. This is a little difficult. This is a little different. Bear with me here. Okay. Back here should be able to. All right, should be gated. Let's see. Let's see what we put in this one area here. Selected box gate 1 and 2. Is that the same thing? Okay, yeah. So we need all these gate blocks in the one deal, and we will have this figured out. So that will absolutely help things tremendously. Hopefully, this will work. And gate that. And those blocks. And that should do it. Let me see what we got to do with these buttons over here to set this up. All right. First one is off. Second one is closed on groups. Let's do that. And that should do it. Let me check that one more time. That didn't look right. That didn't look right. All right, off and closed. All right, that's what I messed up on. So one's gonna be off, the other's gotta be closed, and I think this will do what we're wanting to do. So number one here. Okay. Let's go back in here. Toggle that one off. And then this one closed. And nothing's happening. Well, that's not working. That didn't work. Okay. All right, let's degate this thing. Hmm. What did I do wrong here? Let me go back over here and look again. Okay, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Okay. So apparently I turned off the gate. Let's turn the gates back on. Shut them. And see what happens. Okay. Let me in. All right. Here comes the fun part. The moment of truth. Hmm. What am I doing wrong here? Let's see. Something's not working right. Okay, toggle block on. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, toggle block on. All right, let's see if that doesn't help. Still nothing. Hmm. Okay, let's look at this again. On. Okay, so one. Wait a minute. Okay, that has to turn off. So what is the first button that opens everything up like this? Okay, that's the first thing I gotta do. I just gotta figure out how to get that to work. Maybe I don't have everything gated. Let's try that real quick. Let's go ahead and that, and that's already gated. Okay. Hmm. That's weird. That is weird. Why is that not working? Okay, that's a toggle block off. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Maybe that's the issue. I think maybe that is toggle block on. All right, first part of this is done. Let's see if the second part works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our hangar bay. Ooh, that's fun. That's working out just fine. So now the hangar is working. Now I got to get the other stuff figured out. We need light in this room. I can finish up some decoration in here. And let's, since that's the center, let's go ahead right here. And we're going to put a nice light right there. And then for there we go. That covers a lot of problems before they become problems. I might can put something right there, like a light. Number 7, pull that out. There we go. Drop down here, and you're all set. Nice. That's worked out beautifully. All suited up. I don't understand. Okay, I do understand. All right, here we are. We're in this room. Which, if I'm honest, I just realized I need 2 air vents on either side of this thing. God dang. Things just don't go my way sometimes. We need air vents inside this room because we're going to have to open it up every so often. And in doing so, I'm going to need to be able to not only have an air vent in here. I'll have to put that in there as well. So there we go. All right, we've got 2 air vents that'll blast air inside of here when that's necessary. This whole back section here, which opens up this one area. And the next thing we're just going to need are a couple of small utility craft. One to move stuff with, the other one to weld stuff up with. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So for the utility craft, first off, we're going to need... let me go over here for a second. I want to see just how long something is. All right. That is actually not too big. But it's not small either. That's actually kind of small. The problem with these 2 systems is I don't know if I use this. Oh man, we're going to have problems. I think we'll go with just the medium cargo container here. We're going to build this inside. Now then, the next issue I'm going to run into, and I know this is going to be actually, crap, that creates a lot of problems. Hmm. Look at this here. Oh, this is where things are going to get fun. Because, let's see. I don't need... We're probably going to have to use the large cargo container probably for a small ship. Because obviously, I'm going to have this thing connect to the back. Or if I use this thing, well, which is going to be fun. Unless I have both ships connect on the bottom. Which is actually far simpler. So we're going to do that. We also need... Where are my utility stuff? We don't need a grinder more than we need a welder. Dear God, that is going to get longer than necessary. We don't want something this big. We don't need something this big. Okay, let me look at this medium here. If I do that, plot number 4 here, and I add that to it, and we put our welding claw on the front. And we have a small repair ship. There's baseline repairs that are just nightmarishly, it's going to be nightmarishly difficult to put stuff into this thing and get it back out. Oh boy. See, I'm trying to keep this thing as small as possible, but it just ain't wanting to work with me here. Let's shove that in. I'm gonna look at it here. Yeah, I thought I had no problem. This is just becoming a major one. Come on. I got some way of getting this through here. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. The problem is I can't get something that's reasonably sized. See, this is the closest thing I can get. But the problem is with this thing, if I utilize it, I'm not going to have a whole lot of options in terms of builds. We're going to have to really work the build system over. That's going to be an issue. Oh, that is an issue. Now I can get components with this thing. And this thing I can put a connector on one of two sides and it'll definitely work. But the problem is I don't know. It's going to be fun trying to get that thing in and out of the ship. That's the problem. If only I could expand this stupid gate right here. Just one or two more blocks, it would be perfect. Actually, let me look here. What kind of cockpits do we have? Now, hold up. This might this might actually save us. That may have just saved us the new block here. This may have just saved us a whole lot of time and terror at the moment. Ah, mmm, mmm, hmm. Let me see some here. How much can we store in this? All right, 3,000. How much for a... First off, this cargo container. How much for this thing? All right, we get 1,000 in this. Uh, oh, whoa. We're getting 3,000 in the welder as well. So that's not bad right there. Maybe we don't need it. Maybe we can get away with what we got right now. Now, let me see how much is in this. And we've got another 50. So we're pulling about 3,000. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. We can do this. We can do that. And then I can do this on number 7 so we can see what we're doing. It's working out beautifully right now so far. So far, so good. 2. We're going to need some ion thrusters in multiple directions to propel this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just going to do a type of retro style thruster system here. There. We got a small retro thruster. Just seeing what I can get away with right now. All I need now is a gyroscope in the right spot. And we are golden. Let's slap our gyro there. See how this thing flies around. Okay, this works pretty good. And most importantly, it is small. Pequeño. Tiny. That's what we need. We need this little thing to be small enough to get the job done. Now, I may do some rework on the panels and everything, but it should be able to move itself around. So now, the next thing we're going to do is I need to see if I can make this thing smaller. Because we're already pushing small at the moment. I mean, killing me smalls is a whole nother terminology here. Let's go with these small guys. Like so. I'm going to try and put some type of bumper up in the front. So that enables me to take 2 of these down here. We've got 2 at the bottom already, so we're gonna just slap 2 here on either side. So that gets rid of these 2 top ones. Those 2 probably can stay right there. This one, let's put these in front here because they'll provide us some type of a bumper. At least it'll look like a bumper when I get done with it. And then for our downward vertice, we'll do that. Or we'll do it right here. No, we'll do it right there. You know, you may even put a mag plate on the bottom of it just to give it a little bit more. Now I'm just going to skin it here real quick. Oh boy, move already. There we go. It's not perfect. I stretch the imagination. We are going to need some type of camera so that I can see what this thing sees. Let's look here. What can I put in that spot? What can we put in there? What's up, Badger? How's it going? Rexion coming in here. Oh, it's doing good, man. Doing good. I'm in it to figure out how to put the thing together. It's all working now. And now I'm just figuring out this mini worker here, worker bee, so that we can do minor repair work to the ship when necessary. Trying to figure out what would be a good. Oh, wait a minute. I want to say. Nope. Nope. Not at all. They don't have anything for that. Okay. Nine, we've got a scaffold block here. Badger Wild, can you? Now let's see if I can put a camera on that. Probably can't, but we're going to see anyway. Camera, camera, camera. Where's the camera? I don't think I'll be able to put a camera on that. Well, yeah, well, what do you know? We can. We can put a camera on there. That's as close as that needs to be. Now, let's go in the G menu here. Let's put the camera on. Let's do view one. I still cannot see the welder. I got an idea. We're gonna do something stupid. We're gonna put a hinge in here. Yeah, like we aren't clanging it, like we aren't gonna threaten clang enough. We're gonna just throw another hinge in here. And I'm gonna see if we can get something done. Grexion, nice. Brooke Kimball, nice. What is that block? What is which block? The one block that I just used, that would be a, oh, how do I say this? That would be a scaffolding block, which actually I need that anyway. Where's that? There it is. Number 9. It's just a half scaffold block. That's all we're looking at there. But if you're wondering, number 9, or here, let's go to G menu. It's over here in this. This is just a small block variation of it. That's what we're pulling out here. Now we're going to put this out. And I'm going to slap the camera right there on the front of it. So when we use the camera, we can see just what the frick we're working with here. And we're going to number K. And we're going to go into our hinge. And actually, let me hop out of here for just a moment. Pull the V menu out. It's going to look like something out of Star Trek when I get done with it. So here's our camera. We're going to go into K menu. I want to see what happens when I start effing with things. Ah. I did hinge lock, you idiot. Why are you going back up? All right, let's see what that's put us at. I want to see where that's gone. View. Okay, we can kind of see what's going on here. I can see kind of what's going on, but I don't need that particular angle. So let's go into K menu here. Oh, come on. And we'll hinge lock that. And then I will set the velocity back to 0. There we go. And there we are. We can now see what the welder is about to weld up. So that's pretty cool. That's working out. Got a bunch of people just jumped in here. The one behind the camera. Okay, I figure you can put a camera on that. Yeah, I can. Brooke Kimball. Honestly, baffling. Yeah. Actually, I'm painting it yellow like the worker bees from Star Trek. That's what I'm going to do. Hinge lock won't stop it if it's already moving for some reason. I don't know why it does, but it is annoying. SAF. You can right click to reset the velocity to 0. Yeah, that's what I've done. I've done that. So this is just for the camera when you're operating, and then you have the actual worker bee here, which I'll have to skin this a bit more to make it look good. What I'll probably do is, actually I'll just do it right now. We'll have this come back a bit more. Let me go over to my angles here. We got a lot of angles. Angles are nice. I like my angles. Start right there. And then we'll go, honestly, just down. Oh, wait a minute. I honestly may have goofed. Did I goof? Yeah, I did. Okay, I'll have to put a block in there somewhere, but honestly, it's not that big a deal. And let's go here. Let's go there. And then they're like so. Now to figure out this section here, I think number 6 might have the block I need. I'm not sure. We're just going to work here. Let's click on the lights so that shadow's not in the way. Because that shadow can be annoying sometimes. Okay, that's... Well, I've created a very odd angle right here. In my attempt to... I've created a very odd angle to work with here. That is just wild. Let's try number 5. Maybe there's something here that'll fit. Nope. 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 Ah, that's the problem. I've got two freaking angles on two different directions. That's not going to work. Is that the plastic armor? Yes, it is the plastic armor. I'm just I'm just using it because it's a little bit brighter and has about the same silhouette. Hmm. Let's delete those two, and we'll go from here, like so. There, that works. We got that figured out. Let's see. Do we have... Back to G menu here. Do we have the thermal block? As I sit here and try to remember, there is a small block variation of the thermal vent. Nice. So as this thing starts pulling power, we're going to be really having some fun. All right, let's repeat this on the other side. All right, here we go. There we are. There we are. That's working perfectly now. And it's even looking good too. There we go. And yeah, this will just be a nice little worker bee looking thing. I'm gonna figure out what we're gonna do here. Let's go ahead and slap an antenna in here. I'll have to find one of those. Where's my antennas at? Where's the antenna? There's an antenna that we can have. Let's go ahead and look into... That might not be a bad idea, having one of those. Let's see, broadcast controller. I wonder. Program block. Let's go. We'll also grab the broadcast controller block while we're at it. There's our little antenna. And then let's see. Got this and that. There's our little antenna there. We'll put that. There's an action relay. So I'd have to put some type of channel on here for this thing to activate. So let me see this action relay here. Let's see what we can do with it. Okay. I can send a channel. This is something I haven't really messed too much. Now you got to preserve either the top block or the bottom. Knock the other block out or go for something stylistic. Points for style. Yeah, it's kind of like if you ever played what is the game? There's a game, Star Trek Armada. And in Star Trek Armada, you have these little guys called worker bees. And a worker bee was just a very simplistic little shuttle that zipped around and it took care of business for you. Speaking of which, I see a few more design things I can add to this just to give it a little bit more niftiness. We're going to add a couple more angles here. That'll make it look good. One there. And one there. And there. That'll work out perfectly. Or actually, I have a better idea. We'll slap two of those on there like that. You'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. I was like, with this great idea just now, where I can add a couple of lights on this thing. It should work beautifully here. All right, now we need number 2. No, not number 2, number 3 on my hotbar. Because a small craft like this is going to need lights. Clearly. 8. And I think I can get lights to attach to those. Let's see if that is possible before we continue on. Number 7. I'm guessing it's an 8. There we go. Offset spotlights. That's what I need. Hey, check that out. Got all that connected up there. Now, I head back to here, number 3. I'm gonna have this half block. And that block, and we're done. Look at that. That's nifty looking. That's nifty looking. That'll work out perfectly. So now we move this thing into position. It's got a recessed camera. I may put this thing up on the workshop just by itself because this would be an insanely useful little ship to have. And you could just slam this thing into the back of something. I got to figure out how to make the back of it look good though. That's gonna be the fun part. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Well, let's go to number 9 here real quick. Where we got all these 1 blocks. I don't know if I want to do that or not. But it is staying in the point. This will be almost 1 block wide. So when I put it into the deal, it'll just sit and it'll be perfect. Okay, let's go with number. Let's do this. There we go. Like I said, I don't want this thing to get too thick. because too thick and it's going to have problems. Now we need a secondary camera in the back here for backup purposes because we are going to be operating this thing inside of the ship. And there we go. We have our little worker bee. Now let's try moving the worker bee around a little bit. Now he's not fast. He doesn't have to be. It's got some pretty good speed. Not gonna lie. And then we need to work. We can swap over to the camera here. And we can move in and do some precision action here with camera. That'll work out perfectly. So, okay, let's start programming this guy. So we got our primary camera here. Hold up. Let me make sure. So this is camera 1. This will be camera 2. We have the welder, which is going to have to be set in there. Let's camera 2 here. View connector. Switch locked. We'll do battery recharge on off. I'll have to group these together and group those, turn them on and off. And those there have to be modified so you can see what they're doing. Okay, wait, one more thing. We can add welder on here. Turn this guy on whenever we want to. Actually, hold up. We'll just do this. Tools. There we go. Welder's on. Now the welder works. We've got the welder working. There we go. That's working out beautifully right there. Star Trek, all Federation ships are required to have a few worker bees on board for field repairs. Brookie Kimball. Oh, I see. Grexion, they even have dedicated storage for said worker bees by design. Commonly, it's under the floor of the shuttle bays where they are stored. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I should have done that. But it's not as big as we need to be. But the cool part is this is the best part of this whole thing. It will fit easily through this door we have right now. Let me fly over here and open up. Oh boy, I'm gonna have some fun getting to that. All right, let's run through here. And we'll run down here. Through here. And let's open this door. I don't know why I did all that. I just went through there. And the best part about the worker bee we got is uh, had a little bit of a hiccup there. But it fits almost perfectly into the shuttle bay. And then it's just spin him around, activate the final camera, and back he goes, back in his little spot. And the best part, he's going into a spot about this big. It is the let me move him over here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This little worker bee is the exact width almost of one block. He is tiny. It is a tiny little worker unit to go out there and do minor repairs with. So it is perfect for the job that I have designed it for. And then we also need a cargo hauler. So we could have 2 worker bees or 2 cargo haulers. Those are the 2 options that could be in this ship. So we got the worker bee done. He looks amazing. Oh, well, he's not totally done yet. I still got to paint him. Let me zip on over here real quick. And there's one other thing I want to do. I want to add a mag plate to the bottom of this guy. Wait, what am I doing? Do I not have... I do. All right, there we go. We have mag plates. Boom, we can hide all that with those little mag plates there. Now I can lock him into a position. He can stay there, and he doesn't cause any more problems than he already has. We've got everything we need. And like I said, just a very tiny little worker bee that we can put a whole bunch of stuff into. And this inside cockpit right here just makes everything look wonderful. Kind of glad I got it. I'm glad I got it. Yeah, now he hooks up to everything. Now we've got to figure out where we're going to hook him in at. And I am also going to need... Oh, the whole thing's moving. Oh, it's moving. Again, I hit this thing a little too hard, and it's moving now. Dang. That's the easiest way to stop something from moving. Just throw a bunch of thrusters on it. Let's see, which we got all directions, but in the front. I'll just keep that there so it just doesn't move anymore. But yeah, so we got a worker bee. And then doing a cargo craft is going to be almost easier, if not darn simple. Pretty much a similar system, but it's going to be a much easier unit to build. This is difficult because we have to have everything hooked up in such a way that we can move cargo between these three, between the connector, the cockpit, and the welder. So it can come up there and it can do all kinds of stuff and work and do that nonsense and make it all work. The mm, the one unit, the cargo hauler, will be able to just probably get away with a cockpit, a connector, a battery, a couple ion thrusters, and a big magnet. So you can move that in there. And then I think I had a plan here, if I haven't screwed the pooch. I may push this back a bit more, and I may turn this floor into, like, certain sections of this floor into like a maglev area. So we can drop a crate right about here and right here, and then have a set or a button right here that you can just push that button. In fact, I'm going to put that button right there now. Where's that button at? Where's my buttons? Number 6. Not that, not that. Maybe that. Oh, I like this button better. So we'll set a button there. And we'll set a button there. And then the idea is, if we're moving certain pieces of cargo, that's going to require a loading bay. This will be the loading bay. So we just bring a piece of cargo, like a cargo container, fly up here and just clunk that down there, and then the little mini forklift will just be adding stuff in. And we don't have to worry about that stuff going anywhere or anything. So then we can just add a cargo container in here, and people can just start grabbing stuff out of it and start moving it, and then deconstruct the cargo container while we're at it. So we have extra utility. So now you can just move stuff as a cargo container, or you can move a big cargo container in here. like a two-sided one set down there. Start sucking everything out and putting it into stuff, and then run off with it. So now we have this maglev plate here. I don't know if that's going to work as well as I thought it would. So we may just have to move stuff in and just let gravity do its thing. Or just have the mini forklift come in and do stuff. Now what I'm going to want to do is with this particular area, this is going to have to concave in a bit. For both those vessels to fit. One, we need them both to fit right beside each other. The other issue is, and I may have to run some type of catwalk system in here to make that work, the worker bee and the forklift are both going to need a little bit of space underneath so they can get through without accessing their maglev system. Or I could just add the maglev system and make it all work together. So then it wouldn't be a big deal. Where is the floor stuff we were messing with before? We'll just do that. We'll just do that. That'll be the simplest option right there.
Ah, there we are.
So we'll have let me see. We'll have this floor here, like caution system set up. So you gotta, almost stay behind the line to an extent. Which one of these looks the best? We'll go with this because that kind of makes the floorway look pretty good. And we'll try to set this connector for both these pods just about on the same level so that when this comes in, it'll land right here and it'll connect right up. How long is this? Because I might... Oh, it's only too wide. Boys, I think... Ladies and gentlemen, I think I may have messed up here. Let me go ahead. I wish some of this floor here had two of those hazard systems on the sides.
Okay, so
What I could do, bring that over one, and then make that one part of the bay. The unit would basically just sit down right in front of it. It'd lock its landing gear on, and then the connector would lock up to it, and it would have two contact points instead of just one. And that would give me the ability to do the same thing with the forklift, which wouldn't be too big either. This thing isn't even pushing one whole block, I don't think. Slap a block right next to it and just take a look. But yeah, it's barely pushing two two large blocks. That's a tiny little worker bee. That's a tiny little bee doing its thing. Now we're gonna grab this. We're gonna hop this over one. Actually, I could do this. This would be awesome. Go back to the one deal. Let's do that. And come on, come on. There we go. Oh, that's not going to be as. Oh wait, no, 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 no. That'll work. That'll work. That'll work. Come on, baby. That's what you do. Let's do this. do that. And I'm not worried about the bottom because I'm going to put some armor on the bottom of it. Boom. There's our landing bay. Marked down on the floor. Check that out. And then, let's see. Do I want to use this? I need to replace this with something else. But let's go ahead and get the other bay done while we're at it. What I'm doing. What did I do? What did I do? There. Now, there we go. We're gonna have two little bays for the there. Check that out. Two marked off zones just for that, and then for number 5. This is also another reason why I'm using the plastic. Let me show you. I'll show you guys why I'm using the plastic right now. Because watch the let me get closer to it here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Watch this thing here. When I swap to default, that changes. And that's why I use that, because you can swap this to a lot of different systems. It doesn't really change much. Put it here, and there's not a whole lot of changes that happen. But other than that, maybe. And this one, these are nice changes that'll happen when you're using it. But the top of this block, if you even with that retrograde, if you put plastic on there, there's a walkway. I did not know this. So now we have a walkway set in. And we're going to be able to put 2 deals in. And I'm also, crap, I could also put a couple of systems in place to where this thing, oh, this is going to work out great. This is working out really good. I never noticed how much it changed with the plastic skin on it, says Grexion. Yes, I noticed this. I did I did a review. This is why, and this is why I will tell you right now. You do need to check out the workshop. A lot of y'all do, because the workshop has stuff on it that people have built that look amazing. But not only do they look amazing, but you'll see people do weird things with different blocks, and those individual actions that they take with those blocks, you can turn around and do some cool stuff with. This here, I noticed a block that was running through, and all I saw was this. And I looked down, I was like, wait a minute, that's a cool floor block. Why don't I have this? Where is this and how do I see it? Whip out the old blowtorch, take a look. There it is. That's what it is. It's just this little, it's a regular block. It is and for those that are wondering, this block right here, the interior wall, has been here probably since the inception of the game. So it's been here for a while. Now let's see if we can do some fun stuff here today with these conveyors, because what I want to do, shove that in there, shove that in there. Let me see. Let's go to number 8. We got our connector here. But we're going to use the new inset connectors if we can. Oh, this is interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. So Huh. We're gonna have to take that out, and we're gonna have to build around it. I didn't think it'd be easy. I was hoping it would be, but I am wrong. I've been wrong before. There we go. And then I've got a plan for this as well. There we go. All that goes around the side there. My brain just hiccuped just then and said, we don't remember where that goes. Jeez. So the worker bee, I think I'm going to make a yellow bay area here, and I think for the forklift, we're going to do a blue bay. Or we'll just do the same bays on each side and make it all work. Now let's break out the old. There we are. And then for this rounded section, where are my tube lights? We're going to put tube lights in, folks. And they're going to be glorious. Like I said, when you start looking at other people's stuff, you start realizing what cool things you can put into a build. Let's see, I think there's one here. Yeah, we can do that. Put that there, and I'll do that on the other side as well. Oh yeah, and then we can paint some of this. But now you have an area where you can just drop those small ships in, and they'll just load up in there, and we can brighten that up and make it look like an actual bay. And it'll just look wonderful. It's making the entire ship section look really good. Let's fly on over here because a lot of this will skin. This will all be skinned up here later. And let's shut that door there. See, it works beautifully now. That is wonderful. That right there is beautiful. Now to enter the hangar bay, you will have to go through an airlock. Ta-da! We're inside the hangar bay. And now we can walk through here. Fall in there. Honestly, yeah, if you fall in, you can just run and jump. Hop on out. Now let's put the... Let's modify the mag plates here. Well, all right. We'll just call that a lock plate. Do that. And we'll turn off auto locking, obviously. And parking signal? No, we don't want to do that. Because if it's triggered by P, then we're going to have some serious problems. All right, we'll go here. Groups. Lock plate. We'll set that to switch lock. Let's see how this thing goes into its bay. Ooh, that's going to be tight. Oh wait, I'm locked in now apparently. I don't know if that helped or not, but we're here now. Okay, it will get lower. So the problem I have here is clearly the connector has way too much strength, which can be a problem. Okay, so number 6 and number 3, we are locked in. Check that out. And there's a lot of room to get through here. There's plenty of room to get through and maneuver this thing. So now the next thing I got to do is the forklift, and we'll have to do that later because it is getting late where I am. It is 12:07. If you paint the neon tubes black, they will look like power cables. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paint those into looking like power cables, and they'll look just absolutely amazing right there. But yeah, right here we got this going. Set I'll have to get the engines figured out and set those up. Well, we got one worker bee. We'll have to color him up, and then we'll have to make a forklift. He'll be even smaller because the forklift is going to have a much smaller front, and I kind of think I can get away with the battery being on the bottom instead of the top, and he'll just have a big mag plate on the front to grab hold of something and bring it in, and then it'll just come here and it'll just set down like whatever cargo we need to set up right there. Then do that. And so this small cargo bay hanger thing will just work out beautifully. Now we got this nice little floor, and I'll have to put some buttons in here that runs this floor also, so I can turn things on, turn them off. Another thing I might do is when this thing gets ready to go, I may add a pressurized, depressurized button up top so we can depressurize this room when we get ready to move the stuff, and then that'll be something I don't have to worry about. Could have them docked so it faces the hangar door. Yeah, we could also have the hangar doors on the sides, and they could slip on through. But this will work out pretty good because as you go through, it kind of looks like it's part of the ship until you realize that this is a small vessel you can grab hold of and use. Let's see here. Let me number 3 turn that off. Okay, and let me grab these ion thrusters here. We're gonna grab those. We're gonna put them into worker B thrusters. Save that. Go to G menu, groups, worker B thrusters, toggle lock on and off, and 7. She's not working now. Lock that in. Number 4, put that on recharge, and we're good. That's the worker bee done. Worker bee's just sitting there. I do need to do something about the lights, turn those off. But that thing will work out pretty good. I'm kind of half tempted to just like rip the roof out again and just add half blocks so I've got more room to maneuver. And I'd have to put some type of skin on half of them, figure out a half block that can go in, or find something that's a half. Well, wait a minute, hold up now. I do have something. Hmm. Problem is, where am I going to put the stupid lights? I guess I could put the lights on the side, right here behind those one lights, and they'll just spin right there. That could work. I could have another deal come up and then run across here, and then that would make the floor for the next area. Ah, fun times, fun times. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Yeah, part of the ship, part of the crew. That's what we're doing right now, trying to get that done. So I don't know. I may be redoing those lights into a separate group and reprogramming this, so that out there is going to probably stay. But this is turning into a self-sufficient hangar, sort of. I'll need to probably paint the interior before I paint the outside of the ship, hopefully. But now we have, like I said, we got the worker bee. I gotta set these things so that when it turns on, this thing like lights up as soon as it uses power. It just suddenly goes green or lights up blue or something like that. But yeah, we'll have this thing running. This will just be an awesome little thing to have. And then we have this system here. I'll probably set that up to like a panel button or something over here, or I may just take these, do something else with them. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. But anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this live stream, checking out all the cool stuff that we've been building. We're working on this. The hangar is just taking a little bit more time because it's got a couple of we got a couple of tricks we got to pull with this to make it work good, and then it will be doing awesome. Uh, Putting in here instead of spinning lights, you can use interior lights and have them blink. Can you use interior lights and have them blinking instead? Honestly, yeah, probably. I just had to set them to a blink pattern on the side of the wall. The thing is, the thing about the rotating lights is you don't get the whirl effect of the light when it comes on. I also wonder if I could just add a no, I probably couldn't do that. I probably can't add well, I'll add a sound block later so I can push a button and that it needs time for everybody to get out of the cargo bay or put their suits on, helms down or whatever else inside the cargo bay. And I'll give people time to do that. And I'll dull these lights a little bit up top because they're already plenty bright. I mean, we've got some pretty nice looking lights up there. And then if that system activates, we'll need a an alert that can be blared as I'm opening the system up and right before. So that'll just be its own toggleable block. You just click a button, you'll hear whack, 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 and then everyone knows, yeah, we're fixing to open up the hangar bay, so the floor bay. So you probably better get out of there, and then everything will work out. But yeah, that is the missile destroyer we're working on, and it's doing wonderfully at the moment. And I'm looking over here and trying to figure out what I did right here. This is weird. Why do I have this here? I need to put a friggin' door or something here because this is not supposed to be here. I've got a corridor in here and I don't know why it's there. Huh. I'll have to uh I'll have to modify some stuff in here to make all that work. But anyway, folks, I hope you guys are enjoying this. You can see right now we've got our one module. It's working. We've got one worker bee. We're going to have a second worker bee. I will probably, or a hauler. We're going to probably take him off this weekend, work on him a bit, and I'll try to have him up by the weekend. It's going to be difficult for me on this to get that done. And then I've got to also get a video done for next week and I believe the week after. So I'm going to need to get two more videos done for you guys. I've got one figured out already, and I think I've got another one. I just got to edit it. And then I need one more video. I'm not sure what I'm going to do that one on. So I don't know. But yeah, the next week there won't be any live streams going on, so I won't be here. Don't don't kill me, guys. I won't be here. Sorry about that. But anyway, let me see if there's any more comments. No, there's not. I guess I will give you guys an '07. And I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.